Actually, this next week I do this partially for levity, to be honest, because like mostly when I do poetry, it's kind of like this. When I was first in the slam, I never scored very high. I always went over time, and I never made it to the second round. So, I mean, that does a number on someone's like spirit after a long enough period of time. So I tried to do this thing where I would like challenge myself and try and like reinvigorate my ability to be like engaged with poetry. So I started improvising poems, which I will attempt to do now. Yay! So I'm going to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for people to shout out random things, like probably nouns is easiest to go with. I just heard Bumblebee. Can you raise your hand if you said Bumblebee? Okay.
Candlestick.
Sandal.
This is hashtag too soon? Like. Okay, so I heard Bumblebee. I also heard, actually no, I heard a lot of things melded in one. Can you kind of keep shouting? I think, who said doorknob? Who said doorknob? Doorknob, from the lady in orange. Okay, so we have, it was Angelica that did Bumblebee. So we have Bumblebee and we have doorknob. And I'm going to try and create a poem for you now. Generally, I need about a minute to try and do this thing in my head. This might work out. Mostly it's just really enjoying to watch because it's a panic puddle. And so you guys can talk amongst yourselves and I will be back in about a minute. Do you remember the days of Discovery Channel? How you would watch for hours at the species of this globe we occupy as they taught us intricate dances of all of the genus, of all of the different taxonomies that occupy the same space as we do. Do you remember those nights that you would sit too close to the TV and you'd watch as the dot would spin like a screensaver? Do you remember the ways you would learn the different animals and how they would build their habitats from any spaces they could find? The insects, the beasts, the mammals, the fishes, how there are universes beyond universes in every part of this world that we have not visited, and yet they are there. There was an expanse of thought that would hit me when I would watch the TV and think of all the space in this world I had not gone to yet. I would think of the insects. I would think of the ways that bumblebees could communicate wordlessly, how they would carry pollen like it was no big deal, but so much more than their body weight, how they would go between their hives and the honeycomb and they would do the work of the queen blindly. And I would think, what a system, what a way to build and live. And I think of the ways that the bumblebee builds a home. You see, there's this thing that can happen when they decide to abandon their own nest. A swarm will choose a new space, any cavern, any log, underneath a rock if it looks safe enough, and they will carry their queen to it. They will try and build a husk that is protective. Bumblebees will tell each other in a word, in a language we cannot hear, silently, come home to this temporary space. We have built this for you. And I imagine such a love in the spaces I have called home through my near 30 years on this blue dot spinning, the spaces I have tried to occupy. I have sat down and settled in beds I have slept in, people I have let lie next to me and called them home only to see them leave soon after. The temporary beasts we try and put our hearts in. I think of these things. And my first space as an adult was at Commercial and 14 in an incredibly illegal suite. True story. My room was a converted patio with a wall. Each of my roommates had a window that led into mine, which I tried to decorate with silks and scarves from Beckleman's because it made me feel like I had a plan about this, like my space looked intentional. I had no doorknob. Because I had a sliding glass patio door that sounded like a freight train every single time I tried to open and close it. So often it would stay open because it was too heavy and I didn't want to disrupt the space that I was occupying. I didn't want to wake up my roommates at 2 in the morning when I would stumble home from Granville Strip with a little black dress that barely fit me and all of my ideas about what love might have been in the bottle that I left behind. I was thinking of bees one night. I was thinking of the ways they build homes out of places they would be for so short a time. And how do you define where you decide to settle? Is it a matter of your waiting? Is it a matter of who you bring there? The meals you share? Is it a matter of I will hurt here and I will wait until the hurt is over and I will stay? I will replace the bad memories with the happy ones. I will not leave as soon as I am no longer loved. I will keep bringing love back here until one stays. I did not have a door that you would call a door. And I've had so many spaces since this one. And I'm still trying to wonder how to communicate to each person in my life wordlessly that they are welcome there, that I may have settled, that I am now landed, that this is not temporary and neither is the way that I love them. In my quiet way, I am trying to pull them through and down and say you can hurt here, you can be hurt here, you will be loved through it all, and I will wordlessly hold them through it.